Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to solve rational equations. In order to accomplish that objective, we have two sub-objectives, which is to find the least common multiple of several expressions. That will be in part one of the video. The second objective is to solve a rational equation. Alright, we're on to our first objective, which is to find the least common multiple, and we're going to find the least common multiple of 20 and 15. You did this in middle school, but our process might be a little bit different, so please watch as we again find the least common multiple. To do this, we take 20, and we're going to find its prime factorization, or you might remember it as the factor tree. Factors of 20 are 2 and 10, and each time I arrive at a prime factor, I'm going to circle it to let myself know that I don't factor that number any further. The factors of 10 are 2 and 5. I can't factor 2 or 5 any further, so I circle those. Okay, we're done prime factorizing 20. Let's go ahead and factor 15. Factors of 15 are 5 and 3. Both of those are prime factors, so I go ahead and circle those, letting myself know I can't factor them any further. Now, to the different part. To find the least common multiple, I'm going to make myself a grid. 20 and 15, the LCM at bottom. Next to the 20, I write all of its prime factors. 2, 2, and 5. Next to the 15, I'm going to write its prime factors. But here's the way that the grid works. You can only line up numbers that are the same. So when I go to the 5 as a factor of 15, it can't go under this 2. It can't go under this 2 because it's not the same as 2. But I can write it underneath the 5. Then I look at 15's other factor, which is a 3. It doesn't line up with this 2 or this 2. The spot's taken, so then I need to write a 3. So the least common multiple then, I bring down each one of the numbers one at a time. It would be 2 times 2 times 5 times, and I bring down the 3. Or 2 times 2 is 4, times 5 is 20, times 3 is 60. And I found the least common multiple using a grid. Go ahead and, on your own, pause the video, and you'd go ahead and try to find the least common multiple of 12 and 30. So for 12 and 30, hopefully you factored those out. 12 was 4 and 3, 2 and 2. You could have factored that out differently, but just make sure that you have a 2, and a 3. 30 was 15 and 2. 15 was 5 and 3. So you wrote your numbers, 12, 30, and the LCM. 12, 2, 2, 3, 30, 5, 3, 2. We line them up. 2, there's a 2 here, there's a 3, and then there's a 5. 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, times 5 is 60. It was just coincidence that both these examples turned out to give us 60. Alright, we're going to extend this idea just a little bit, and we're going to try to find the LCM using the same method of 3 different factors, 12, 18, and 15. Go ahead and try this on your own. If you get a little stuck, that's okay. You can go ahead and press play, and you can see the solution worked out. Okay, I went ahead and factored out the 12, the 18, and the 15. Let's list the factors. 12, 2, 2, and 3. 18, 2, 3, and 3. 15, 5, and 3. So we bring down each factor, we get a 2, a 2, a 3, another 3, and a 5. When we multiply all those together, you should get 180. So the least common multiple of 12, 18, and 15 is 180. Now that we've reviewed how to find the LCM from just numbers, we're going to find the LCM from algebraic expressions. Here we have 3 algebraic expressions. In order to find the LCM, we need to do like we did with the numbers and find the factors. So I factored x squared minus 4 as x plus 2 and x minus 2. I factored x squared minus x minus 6 as x minus 3 and x plus 2. And I factor 4x minus 8 as 4x minus 2. Because both the 4x and the 8 were divisible by 4, I could factor the 4 out. So just like we did in the previous example, I'm going to make myself a grid, starting with x squared minus 4, then x squared minus x minus 6, and then 4x minus 8, and down below I'm going to write LCM. The factors of x squared minus 4 were x plus 2, x minus 2. I'm going to go ahead and draw vertical lines to separate my factors. It's going to help me keep track of it, which factors are which in a second. Okay, x squared minus x minus 6. The factors were x minus 3, which there isn't an x minus 3 yet, so I make a new spot for that, and x plus 2. The factors of 4x minus 8 were 4, we don't have a space for that yet, and x minus 2. Which means my least common multiple is x plus 2, x minus 2, x minus 3, and 4. Now, to find the simplified version of this least common multiple, I would have to distribute out all of those parentheses and then multiply everything by 4. However, for the purposes of this video, we will not be multiplying at this point the LCM. I just want you to find the least common multiple. Okay, go ahead and try to find the least common multiple of the following 3 algebraic expressions, using the previous example as your guide. As you get started, please note that the factors of 2x, I'll get you started on that, are 2 and x. Okay, I've got you started with factoring out just the first algebraic expression as x plus 5 and x minus 2. However, I wanted to take a moment to explain the factors of 6x squared minus 12x. Notice 6x squared minus 12x have a 6x in common, so you factor out the 6x and you get x minus 2. The x minus 2 isn't much different from what we've seen in the past. However, the 6x, since I have a 6, I can factor that further as 2 times 3. So I'm going to write the factors as x minus 2, 2 times 3 times x, because 6 was 2 times 3, and then we were multiplying by x. So 2 times 3 times x. The factors of 2x are 2 and x, and in this case the 2x actually contributed nothing to our least common multiple, or rather nothing new. Okay, let's write out all of our factors: x plus 5, x minus 2, 2, 3, and x. And there you have the least common multiple of the following 3 algebraic expressions. I'm going to have 3 more examples that show slightly different ideas. I would like you to work each one of these examples, pausing the video and pressing play when you're ready to see the answer. Alright, here are the 2 next examples. The line up and down, the vertical line, separates the 2 examples. Go ahead and try to find the least common multiple of these 2 examples. Press play when you're ready to see the answer. Okay, the first one was pretty tricky because the least common multiple was x plus 2 times x minus 4. You cannot factor x plus 2 any further, and you cannot factor x minus 4 any further. So this indeed is your least common multiple. For x squared minus 25 and x plus 5, it was x plus 5 and x minus 5. Please note, at this point, you could find the least common multiple without having to write each of the original expressions on the left-hand side. You could have skipped straight to x plus 5, x minus 5, x plus 5 below, and then writing the LCM. There are several ways you can skip steps when working these problems as you get more used to them. Right now, what I'd like you to do is I've got one last example, and that example is 2x and x plus 5. Okay, 2x, the factors of 2x were 2 and x, and the factors of x plus 5 were x plus 5. So the LCM is 2x and x plus 5. That's the LCM. Okay, this is the end of finding least common multiples. What we're going to do next is find out how to solve rational expressions using these least common multiples.